I am a 17-year-old boy diagnosed with anxiety, panic disorder, and borderline personality disorder. Going to school was a huge struggle. I would feel anxious thinking about how other people looked at me, and seeing the hustle and bustle of the hallways was torture to my mind. Even if people weren't looking at me, I believed they were. My mind was creating these irrational thoughts that wouldn't stop no matter how hard I tried to end it. I couldn't focus in school, and I acted weird around friends, thinking they were stabbing me in the back if they were too busy to hang out. I got anxious for raising my hand up in class, in fear of saying the wrong answer. I felt trapped and I felt like I couldn't live up to my full potential. When I start to think of one thing, it leads to another, and the thoughts stack on, overwhelming me with intense feelings of anxiety. I may have been existing in real life, but because of my mental illness, I didn't feel like I was living life. I remember my first panic attack. It was a terrible experience where I was sweaty and my heart rate was up. I didn't know what I was doing. I hyperventilated and my throat became dry. I remember pacing around, throwing things and constantly lashing out at anyone who wanted to help me. Of course, I didn't want to hurt my parents, and it pained me to see them struggling as I tried to control their panic son. However, I couldn't control myself, and I beat myself up for giving my parents a hard time. A panic attack feels like the world beneath you is crumbling and everything is on fire. There were times where I would run away or even act violently, constantly punching holes in my walls and getting lost to the point where firemen had to call an ambulance to take me back to the hospital. During an intense panic attack, I often grabbed knives and threatened to kill myself. I even overdosed on Tylenol one night and had to be taken to the hospital to be monitored. I've had policemen handcuffing me in order to prevent me from hurting myself and others. My anxiety and panic attacks got so frequent that I would go to emergency 6 to 8 times within 3 months. It was so often that I even knew most of the doctors and nurses working at BC Children's, and they knew me as well. Due to the severity of my anxiety, I had to stay at a short-term mental health unit several times because the doctors felt I wasn't safe enough to go home after being taken to emergency. I even stayed at a long-term mental institute for 1 month as a way to rehabilitate myself. In these units, I met many people who struggled with anxiety and depression. These people have come from different backgrounds. Some went to local private schools I knew about, and others came from as far as Chilliwack. The people I got to know in the units told stories of hearing voices in their head, or even cutting themselves all across their arm. People who experienced a mental illness didn't want it to happen to them. We all had dreams and aspirations that ended up having to be delayed. I had to leave school for a while, and I had to stop my passion for piano for a long time. It was devastating. As a person as driven as I was, the words, "take time to relax and not focus on school" were the worst words to hear. My life did a complete 180, and even today, I continue to battle my mental illness. But I am so thankful for everyone who helped me get to where I am today. Even though things may not be as how I expected it to be, by having supportive friends and family who empathize with my feelings, and by not staying silent and reaching out, I'm still alive today.